Late in December 2024, President Traore took to the stage with a bold message for the continent. He extended an open invitation to every African nation to become part of a newly formed alliance called the AES. According to him, this wasn't just an exclusive club for Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. Instead, it was meant for any African country ready to embrace independence and break away from Western influence. Interestingly, Togo has now hinted at the possibility of joining this alliance. What makes this even more intriguing is that Togo is still a part of ECOWAS, the regional economic bloc. So, what could this shift mean for ECOWAS if Togo decides to align with the AES? Under President Faure Gnassingbé, Togo has played the role of mediator, bridging the gap between ECOWAS and the trio of Sahel nations that recently withdrew from the bloc. But in an unexpected twist, the Togolese government, through its foreign minister Robert Dussey, has revealed that joining the AES isn't entirely off the table. In a recent interview with Vox Africa, Dussey acknowledged that the idea of Togo integrating into this emerging alliance is very much under consideration. He stated, "The decision lies with the president, but it's not impossible." Dussey emphasized that Togo's focus remains on maintaining open dialogue with all parties while prioritizing its national interests. He also shared some pointed thoughts about the broader state of the continent, expressing that Africa has long been treated as a tool for the world's major powers. "This isn't right," he said, adding that Africans everywhere are now striving to assert their identity and reclaim their sovereignty. Dussey went on to say, "Ask the Togolese people if they want to join the AES, and I believe their answer would be a resounding yes." His remarks reflect a growing sentiment across the continent, one of unity and resistance to external control. Should Togo officially join the AES, it could be a game-changer for the three landlocked countries, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. With Lomé, Togo's coastal capital, potentially opening up its port for maritime cooperation, the alliance would gain a critical economic and logistical advantage. If you are still watching this video, it means you love it. Why not take out a second and hit that like button? Have you done that? Let us move on. Back in 2024, Togo found itself at a crossroads, balancing its position in ECOWAS while quietly building stronger ties with the Sahel nations, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. This budding relationship took on greater significance after a tragic event on July 17th. A terrorist attack near Togo's border with Burkina Faso claimed the lives of 2 Togolese soldiers and left the nation grappling with grief and heightened insecurity. Amid the sorrow, something unexpected happened. Niger's leader, General Abdourahmane Tiani, reached out directly to Togo's President Faure Gnassingbé. His message wasn't the usual diplomatic platitudes often seen in such situations. Instead, it was a heartfelt expression of solidarity, paired with an offer of real support. This gesture stood in stark contrast to the broader responses typically seen in ECOWAS, which had often been accused of failing to adequately address the crises faced by member states like Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. In his message, General Tiani acknowledged the bravery of Togo's forces and the pain of the loss, saying, "In these tough times, the people of Niger stand with you." He assured Togo of Niger's unwavering support and reminded them that the AES alliance was ready to work together to confront the shared threats of terrorism and instability. This wasn't just a polite diplomatic exchange, it was a promise backed by action. By offering the collective strength of the AES to assist Togo, General Tiani highlighted the alliance's commitment to unity and mutual aid, even for countries not yet part of its fold. This act of solidarity resonated deeply. It was a stark reminder of how differently the AES operated compared to ECOWAS. While ECOWAS often struggled to respond swiftly or effectively to crises, the Sahel nations showed they were not bound by bureaucracy or divided by alliances. They acted decisively and empathetically, extending a hand to Togo when it needed it most. The relationship between Togo and the AES didn't stop at words. Shortly after the attack, the alliance took concrete steps to strengthen its ties with Togo. Leaders from the AES gathered in Niamey, Niger's capital, to discuss ways to deepen economic and trade cooperation. Togo, with its strategic location and bustling port in Lomé, was a key player in the region. The AES recognized the value of building a partnership with Togo, not just for trade, but also for bolstering security and stability across the region. This meeting underscored the broader vision of the AES. It wasn't just a military or political alliance. It was a framework for regional integration and cooperation. The alliance was actively building bridges, fostering trade, and offering support to nations willing to work together towards shared goals. For Togo, this approach was both refreshing and practical. especially as it faced challenges that ECOWAS had yet to address meaningfully. This growing partnership also highlighted a shift in Africa's geopolitical landscape. Traditional blocs like ECOWAS were being challenged by newer, more agile alliances like the AES, which prioritize direct action and tangible results. For Togo, this wasn't just about alliances, it was about finding partners who were willing to stand by them when it mattered most. On July 23rd, a groundbreaking conference brought customs officials from the Sahel region together to make a transformative decision, connecting their customs systems, including Togo's. This integration wasn't just about paperwork, it was about laying the foundation for seamless trade across borders. Imagine a system where goods flow from one country to another without hiccups, reducing delays and boosting economic activity. It's a game changer for regional commerce, especially for nations already struggling with economic sanctions and security challenges. Adama Sawadogo, the head of Burkina Faso's customs, emphasized how this integration could tighten bonds between the Sahel nations and Togo. He pointed out that trade doesn't just fuel economies, it strengthens relationships. Meanwhile, Philippe Koku-Kodi from Togo's Revenue Office pushed for urgency, stressing that the faster this system was implemented, the quicker everyone could enjoy its benefits. His message was clear: there's no time to waste when the region's future is at stake. This effort wasn't just about boosting trade, it reflected a deeper shift in alliances and priorities. Sanctions imposed by ECOWAS on Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso had created a ripple effect, forcing these nations to seek alternatives. Togo, a country with its own history of navigating regional challenges, saw an opportunity. Instead of distancing itself, Togo leaned in, strengthening its ties with the Sahel states, at a time when solidarity mattered most. But this partnership goes far beyond trade. It's about tackling shared threats and building a safer, more stable region. Togo and the Sahel nations have committed to working together on military operations and intelligence sharing, a crucial step in combating the growing menace of terrorism. This kind of cooperation isn't just reactive, it's proactive, addressing the root causes of instability while paving the way for long-term progress. For Togo, these steps are deeply personal. The country has faced its own tragedies, with terrorist attacks claiming the lives of around 40 soldiers and over 100 civilians. President Faure Gnassingbé has responded with a series of bold initiatives, including an emergency program designed to enhance community resilience and security in the most vulnerable regions. Joining forces with the AES offers Togo more resources and allies in this fight, creating a united front against extremism and violence. If Togo decides to formally join the AES, it would become the fourth member of an alliance that's quickly gaining momentum. Although the AES is still young, its influence is already being felt. A clear example of this was the December 2024 meeting in Bamako, Mali, where leaders and experts from the Sahel nations came together to create a visual identity for their alliance. This wasn't just about designing a logo, it was about crafting a symbol that embodied their shared vision and values. Over 3 days they brainstormed, debated, and refined their ideas. The final design, a circle featuring the words Confederation of Sahel States on a striking red background, was chosen to reflect unity and strength. 3 stars represented the founding members, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. Additional symbols, like the baobab tree and the sun, were included to highlight the region's diversity and resilience. The silhouettes of people emphasized the interconnectedness of their communities, while the slogan, "One space, one people, one destiny," captured the essence of their mission, a united region, working together for a brighter future. This level of collaboration sends a powerful message. The AES isn't just about forming a political or economic bloc, it's about creating a shared identity. For Togo, aligning with such an alliance would mean access to a network that values action, unity, and mutual support. It would also provide the country with new tools to address its challenges, from security threats to economic development. What makes the AES stand out is its ability to move quickly and decisively. While traditional blocs like ECOWAS often get bogged down by bureaucracy, the AES has shown a willingness to act, whether it's supporting member states during crises or developing practical strategies for trade and security. This proactive approach has not only strengthened bonds between its current members, but also made it an attractive option for nations like Togo, which are seeking partners who understand the importance of both collaboration and independence. The AES has taken a bold step in reshaping how its story is told to the world. Frustrated with the narrative spun by Western media, The alliance, formed by Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, has launched its own web TV platform. This move comes shortly after these nations shut down several French media outlets, including France 24, in their territories. The leaders of the AES felt it was time to take control of their image and counter the wave of misinformation they believe has tarnished their reputation on the global stage. An official from Mali's Department of Communication explained that the web TV is more than just a news outlet. It's a tool to give the alliance a stronger voice internationally. For too long, the leaders say, they've been painted as villains by external media. With web TV, they hope to tell their side of the story, share their progress, and provide updates on their vision for the region. But media reform isn't the only thing on AES's agenda. The alliance is also making strides in regional infrastructure. On November 29, 2024, the African Development Bank, AFDB, approved a massive €156.6 million loan to Burkina Faso and Mali. The funding aims to improve critical road networks connecting these countries to Côte d'Ivoire, boosting trade and mobility. The project is ambitious. In Burkina Faso, for instance, the 155-kilometre road from Bobo Dioulasso to the Côte d'Ivoire border will be upgraded, while the 42-kilometre Banfora-Orodara section will be newly constructed. A 100-metre bridge over the Laraba River, which connects Burkina Faso and Côte d'Ivoire, will also be expanded to 2 lanes, modernising a key trade route. On top of that, 18 kilometres of urban roads and 50 kilometres of rural roads will be built to link smaller communities and stimulate local economies. These improvements aim not only to enhance trade, but also to protect the environment and communities from the impact of climate change. This initiative isn't happening in isolation. The Islamic Development Bank and the European Union are also stepping in with additional funding, €138 million and €25 million respectively. Such collaboration highlights the growing confidence in the AES as a capable and ambitious bloc. All this progress has sparked comparisons with ECOWAS, the more established regional bloc. Supporters of ECOWAS often point to its successes in mediating political crises, like restoring constitutional order in Mali in 2012, helping resolve a coup in Burkina Faso in 2015, and securing a peaceful power transition in the Gambia in 2017. These are undeniable achievements. However, critics argue that when it comes to the Sahel, ECOWAS has fallen short. Despite the region being plagued by jihadist violence, poverty and instability since 2013, ECOWAS has failed to use its collective resources to address these challenges. Instead, insecurity in the Sahel has spiraled out of control, with millions displaced and countless lives lost. For countries like Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, this inaction was a key reason to withdraw from the bloc. Burkina Faso's president, Ibrahim Traore, hasn't minced words on the issue. He's been vocal about ECOWAS's failure to support Sahel nations in combating terrorism and instability. This frustration has fueled the growing influence of the AES, which has positioned itself as an action-oriented alliance ready to tackle both security and development challenges head-on. While ECOWAS remains focused on its broad goals of promoting economic integration and democracy, the AES has opted for a more direct approach to solving the pressing issues its member states face. Since joining forces to create the AES, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso have wasted no time getting to work. Together, they've launched a series of military operations aimed at tackling the growing insecurity in their region. And guess what? These missions have already started showing real results. By combining their resources and sharing intelligence, the 3 nations have managed to achieve victories that seemed out of reach when they were working alone. Their coordinated efforts have disrupted dangerous groups, reclaimed territories, and brought a sense of hope back to areas once dominated by fear. What's even more exciting is how quickly they've made progress. With their determination and teamwork, many believe it's only a matter of time before the AES transforms the region into a much safer place to live. Would you let a leader like Traore rule your country? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section.